Hi there friends, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. So as you can tell by the title of this video, this week I am reviewing this book right here. It's called Big Magic: Creative Living Beyond Fear by Elizabeth Gilbert. If you follow me on Instagram, I've been raving about this book. I've also raved about it in my previous videos, but this is the official review. So before we start, I just want to say that I read this book twice before reviewing it. The first time I read it was I just wanted to enjoy it. I knew that I wasn't going to be able to read and review at the same time. It's just one of those books that you just want to savor it, delve into it, and just let it sink in, so I couldn't do the review. So I read it a second time so I can review it for you guys. And as I was reading, I realized that actually I want to try something a little bit different, because I kept getting these aha moments or these reaffirmations from this book. So I thought instead of doing a normal review, I would do lessons learned while reading this book. I hope you guys will enjoy this different type of review. Okay, so before we get into the lessons learned, I just want to say this book is highly motivational and inspirational. Inspiring or inspirational? You know what I mean. I love Elizabeth Gilbert's voice through the entire book. Her voice and tone I just think are so appropriate for this kind of book. She is her calm but deep self. She's humorous, and you can tell like she wrote this book from a very genuine, caring place. I also love the fact that she uses her own personal stories of her friends and people she knows, and just people that have inspired her to illustrate some of the points in her book. And I absolutely love that, because it adds like a wonderful personal touch. So I highly recommend this book. It's just not for creatives. It's just not for your painter, for your dancers, for your writer. I think this book is for everyone. If you're looking into how to live your life from just absolute curiosity, live your life from just following your bliss and letting go of fear, and also allowing enchantment to come into your life, I would say read this book. It just gives you a different and wonderful perspective on how to live your life and how to view this wonderful thing that we are doing here. What are we doing here? We're living. I absolutely love it. So obviously the book is titled Big Magic, and you wonder, what is big magic? According to how I understood it, first, Elizabeth Gilbert believes that we are all born with these hidden treasures. What other people might term, your purpose, what other people might term your intuition, just this innate feeling of what you are meant to be doing on this planet. She believes the pursuit of those hidden treasures is creative living. And what happens during the process of pursuing these hidden treasures is what she calls big magic. And she gives you examples of how this big magic can look like, and I found it absolutely interesting. Anyway, so now let's get into the lessons learned. So lesson 1. Oh, by the way, if you see me looking over there, it's because I've jotted these lessons down, and yeah, I hope you don't mind. So lesson 1, we must have the stubbornness to accept our gladness in this ruthless furnace of the world. So lesson 1 is really about saying, I am entitled to live and interpret the world and life as I please. So you are entitled, just by the mere fact of you being on this earth, you are entitled to live your life the way you want to live. It's about following your bliss. Follow what makes you happy. Follow what fascinates you. What are you obsessed with? Follow that and live your life from that perspective or from that point of view. I 100% believe in this, and it was such a beautiful reaffirmation for me, because I've really tried to tailor my life where I am just following my bliss, because how else am I going to live my life if I'm not doing what makes me happy, what makes me feel fulfilled. So that's lesson 1. Lesson 2. Your creativity does not need to be grand or life-saving for it to be meaningful. I absolutely love this. It's such a freeing thing, because it means go ahead and create what you want to create. Go ahead and paint and write. Go ahead and do whatever it is that you want to do. But for it to be meaningful, it doesn't mean that it has to be grand or it has to be life-saving or you are saving people, or, you know, just do it because you love it, and that is enough. And so what if it's just a hobby? It's okay for a thing to be a hobby. You don't have to write to, you know, to win prizes. You don't have to write to save people. Just do it because you love doing it. Simple. And I think this is such an important lesson, because a lot of the times we do, or let me speak for myself, sometimes I do things, you know, because I want people to see it. I want people to approve of it. I want people to think that I'm deep. Actually, I don't need to do any of that, because at the end of the day, everybody is doing what pleases them. People are innately selfish. So if you're out here trying to live according to how people think that you should live, you are wasting your time, because no one else is doing that for you. So release yourself of all of that. Just be free and do whatever it is that you want to do. It does not have to be grand. Lesson 3. In order to live a creative life, you must choose curiosity over fear. So, and Elizabeth puts this really well. Fear is needed. Fear is important. Fear is that thing that tells you when you're in the middle of the jungle somewhere and there's a lion or whatever. There are no lions in jungles, but you know what I mean. If there's like some animal attacking you, you will run because of the fear. But fear is boring. Fear is like that overly protective parent who, if they had it their way, you would be sitting at home doing absolutely nothing, having no friends, basically in a bubble. That is fear. In choosing to live a creative life, it's all about curiosity. And curiosity takes you to places that are uncertain. Because you are uncertain about the results. You are uncertain where this is going to lead you. And uncertainty is fear's worst fear, basically. So meaning, yes, we all need fear. Fear is important. But sometimes just tell fear, you know what, fear? I am pursuing this creative life. I am driving towards this unknown destination. You are important, but honey, you need to sit in the back seat and let creativity and I, you know, direct this creative life. And I absolutely love that. It's so important. Sometimes we hold ourselves back because we just fearful. And most of the times, you just need to overcome. Keep pushing yourself beyond this fear. I will give you an example. I went through a very drastic phase in my life, just because I felt like I was holding myself back because I was constantly fearful of everything. So whenever I had a thought and fear would creep in, I would do it anyway. You know, oh, I'm scared to go out by myself. You're gonna do it. You're gonna go out by yourself. Oh, I am, you know, I don't wanna send my work to publishers. What if they reject it? You know what? You're gonna send your work to publishers, and if they're rejected, it's okay, because honey, you've got your big girl panties on. Do you know what I mean? We just have to push ourselves. We have to push ourselves, because if fear had its way, we would be stagnant. We would be the same people over and over. We wouldn't pursue anything. So this is an important lesson. It's an important lesson. For me, it's such a great reminder. Lesson 4, allow enchantment and magic in your life. So in the book, Elizabeth has a section titled Enchantment. And in this section, she looks at the supernatural, mystical, magical ways in which ideas and inspiration comes to us. She goes as far as to say that ideas are supernatural, disembodied, energetic life forms. So I think maybe for some of you this might be like such a weird concept, but I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that explanation, just because I'm the kind of person who believes that there is more at play on this planet, in this life that we're living. There is more at play than we can perceive with our eyes, than we can interpret with our brains. Not everything can be proven scientifically, and also I think some of the things we don't have the scientific tools or the scientific know-how to prove. As a creative person, I've also had experiences with inspiration and ideas, and I'm just like, whoa, that was weird, where did that come from? And I've heard like stories from people that I know in terms of how they get inspired and how ideas how ideas show up. Also in the book, she goes, she tells like several stories where you just like, that is weird. And I guess the enchantment and the mystery is where big magic comes from. Anyway, so with this lesson, we're just allowing a little bit of enchantment, a little bit of magic into our lives, because why not? We live on such a mysterious planet anyway, a mysterious universe. There's so much that we don't know or understand, and yet life is good. Lesson 5. It is okay not to be a full-time artist. It is okay that you just dance 1 hour a week. It is okay that you just write 15 minutes every day. It is okay that your creative pursuits are just your hobbies. You don't necessarily have to ask your creativity to take care of you. I absolutely love what Elizabeth says. I just want to read this to you quickly. I promised that I would not ask writing to take care of me financially, but rather I would take care of it. Meaning, I would always support us both by any means necessary. This was such a freeing thing for me, so freeing. Although I am very privileged to, to work in the creative arts industry, I'm a project manager. So a lot of the times what I'm doing is writing emails, administrative things, logistical things. But that is okay, because I am not asking my writing, I'm not like asking my poetry or all my other creative endeavors. I'm not like asking my videos to take care of me. I am doing it merely because I love doing it so much. And sometimes it's okay for our creative endeavors. It's okay for them not to take care of us, because it's reality, it's reality. It's unfortunate, but it's reality. Some people will make full-time living, being writers, being creators, and that's okay. And some people will not. So I believe, and Elizabeth Gilbert believes that you don't need to put so much pressure on your creativity. But sometimes you have to take care of your creativity. You have to be the person who works a 9 to 5 and then comes back home and does writing. You have to be, for instance, like me. It's a Sunday morning and I'm busy shooting videos. Do you know what I mean? Why? Because I love it and I'm taking care of my creativity. Just because creativity is unable to take care of me does not mean I cannot take care of us both. How wonderful. Lesson 6. Be persistent with your art and creative expressions. And being persistent means that sometimes you're gonna have to eat the shit sandwich. And I will be honest, like I was that naive person who thought that, oh no, now that I've left the corporate world, now that I'm, following all these creative things that I like doing, life is going to be a breeze. It is wrong, and it's a lesson that I've had to learn over and over again. Because why? It's reality. Reality is about yin yang. Reality is about dark and light. And reality is about, there will always be a shit sandwich. There will always be challenges. There will always be things that you're not happy about. It's just how life is. But if you love something so much, you will be willing to eat the shit sandwich. So I guess the question you need to ask yourself, the question we need to ask ourselves, what is that one thing that I absolutely love, that I will do, and I will be very persistent doing it, but I know that I need to eat the shit sandwich. Does that make sense? So persistence also means that you are so in love with your work that you do whatever it takes to be able to do it, pretty much. Have an affair with your creativity. You know how people, and I think this analogy of having an affair is so perfect, because when people having an affair, it doesn't matter that they have wives and husbands and children and full-time jobs. They will find that 15-30 minutes to sneak in, a hookup. So this is how you need to view your creative living, your creative life. And I like what Elizabeth says here. She says, I always remind myself that I'm having an affair with my creativity, and I make an effort to present myself to inspiration like somebody you might actually want to have an affair with. How beautiful is that? Absolutely beautiful. The last lesson, and possibly the most wonderful for me, is creativity loves you back. You love your creativity, you put in the work, creativity loves you back. Let me read a passage from the book so you understand what Elizabeth Gilbert means by your creativity loves you back. This is my question, and I think it's a fair one. Why would creativity not love you? It came to you, didn't it? It drew itself near. It worked itself into you, asking for your attention and devotion. It filled you with desire to make and do interesting things. Creativity wanted a relationship with you. That must be a reason, right? Do you honestly believe that creativity went through all the trouble of breaking into your consciousness only because it wanted to kill you? That doesn't even make sense. How does creativity possibly benefit from such an arrangement? I really love the idea that creativity loves you back. If creativity loves you back, it means that you will not kill yourself for it. You will not insist that you do it full time. You will not insist that it be perfect. You will not insist that it be grand. If creativity loves you back, it will make sure that you are enjoying the process as well. Yes, are there shit sandwiches? Yes, there are shit sandwiches. Is there work involved? Of course, there's a lot of hard work involved. Is there persistence? You need to be persistent. But creativity loves you back. Following a creative life is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I believe that the more I follow it, the more I'm in tune with what is my purpose and what I'm doing here. And the more I'm in tune, sorry, it's getting a little spiritual up in here. The more I'm in tune with my purpose, the more I feel connected to everything else that is at play. Everything else that other people might call God, that might call universe, that might call Allah, and all those other names that we attach to everything at play. And I loved Elizabeth Gilbert's book for reminding me of this. So good people, I really hope that you enjoyed this different kind of review. I just felt very moved to to do this, and I hope some of it resonated with you. Please let me know if it did. And I just really hope that at the end of the day, whatever we're doing, we are following our bliss. It's so important to do that. And yeah, I'm following my bliss. And thank you so much. On that note, thank you so much for subscribing to my channel, for tuning in every week, for commenting. I absolutely love reading your comments and responding. I love this community, and this is me just following my bliss. This is me being my nerdy self. I love reading, I love talking about books, and I love making these videos merely because it makes me happy. There's no reimbursement for me, there is no money involved, but I just absolutely love it. And I hope that you are in one form or the other following your bliss. So on that note, take very good care. Love, peace, and happiness. Bye.